Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Monday Motivation. Our special guest is on point. She listens.
The first one. Yes.
Nice.
Love it.
Everybody say hi to Allison Rudine.
Hello, everyone.
And Goran Vasevich.
What's going on, everybody?
As always, I'm your host, Daniel Krakowski, here at Monday Motivation.
Monday Motivation.
Today we have a special topic. It's going to be...
It's not about your vacation that you just took.
It's not. It's not about the slight illness that I have here either. You can hear it maybe a little bit coming through.
Sick, but you are present at work, which I love.
Undeniable.
But, yes, I hope the vacation did you some good. I see you came back with a tan, which was nice from the pasty white skin.
Yeah, that was a favor to everyone in the office.
Yes,
they don't have to look at me anymore and be blinded by my translucence. But what we wanted to talk about today was the importance of metrics.
Dun, dun,
Metrics.
dun, dun.
Yes.
Are we talking about the something similar that we covered in a couple of podcasts ago with our guest, Marshall Saunders?
It is, yes.
Does that have to do with his
If
book?
you've read
What's
his book, M3, Mindset, Methods, and Metrics, I think I got those in the right order. Just finished that book. It was amazing. Probably the best real estate book I've read for an agent yet. And,
Really?
And yeah.
I'm gonna have to read it.
I'm going to have to...
you guys got to dig in.
I'm not going to read it, to be honest, but I will put it on my Audible list.
I was gonna
100%.
Yeah, and none of you can have the autograph version that I got. I'm just letting you know. I'm holding that dear.
And we got that on Instagram live, recorded it, so everybody can see that, hey, we got some pretty famous people on this podcast.
Yeah, we're like Allison.
Yes, exactly.
It's kind of a big deal.
I'll sign books too.
kind of a big deal. It was like, hey,
Other people's
Allison,
books. Catcher in the Rye. Allison Rudine. Best wishes.
That's right.
that could work.
So, kind of the main focus and the argument that they make, and I'm going to really paraphrase because, again, you should go read the book, but when you start measuring something and recording it and tracking your results, that's the path to success. And we can take that back maybe for 1 second and look at the goals podcast that we just did. We talked about setting your big goal, working backwards to try and build what the steps are that need to be done. Well, how do you know if you're hitting those steps if you're not keeping track, if you're not using any metrics?
You don't.
Right, that's a good point. Do you have a metric for yourself that you use,
Absolutely.
Allison?
Well, I make monthly goals right now, and every Monday morning, right after I listen to this Monday motivation podcast.
Yeah.
We're not paying her to say that.
No, not at all. But you should.
Dario is.
Right after that, I actually review all of my goals every Monday just to make sure that I'm staying up on it. And if I'm not, I write it down that I need to work on it. And then the next week I know, if it's getting any better or if I still need to work on it. And if it's 2 or 3 weeks in a row, I need to figure out why the heck I'm not doing it. So
yeah,
I continuously look at them.
It makes sense. The easiest example, again, let's just look at weight loss. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Who tries to lose weight and never weighs themselves? How are you going to know if you're getting skinnier?
Billy.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Right.
I'm just kidding. We love Billy.
But it's true, right? You make your goal. Hey, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds. How are you gonna know if you reached your goal? Like, I look 20 pounds lighter. I think I'm good.
Right.
Exactly.
No, you need to track every single thing. So, what they talked about specifically, and they went really into goal setting, and they talked about working backwards instead of saying, for real estate, they were like, hey, I want to make 20 sales. So if I make 20 sales, that means that I need to get 20 qualified leads who come through. How many people do I need to talk to who are actually close, ready to go? I have to multiply that number by the number of sales that I want to do. And I have to multiply that number by the amount of people that I have to talk to get there. And then I need to take that huge number of, maybe 2,000 people a year that you need to talk to get your 20 sales goal. And I need to divide that into weekly goals. How many people do I need to call every week? And what methods of communication am I using to get a hold of them? Can I track which ones are more effective, which ones are less effective? Like, the more information that you have, the better off you're going to be in pretty much anything that you do.
Yep.
I like it. Reverse engineering at its finest. It's not just for things. It could also be for yourself and for a plan, especially when it comes to sales. I haven't done it myself, but from what you just kind of said, I think it makes sense to work your way backwards. A lot of people start with, I'm just going to dial 2,000 dials a month and see where that takes me. You don't know if that's going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, or 50 sales. It may not be.
Sounds like me, yeah.
Right. It may not be enough sales that you need, or what whatever your monthly bills are. So it's good to kind of set that. Hey, I need to make $100,000 a year, which would equal an average of X amount of transactions, and then you work your way backwards on what you need to do to get those transactions done.
It just makes sense. Can you imagine being like a giant store? I actually have a friend who works it's called e-procurement, where basically they create software that helps companies track how much of product they sell, right? And trying to aggregate all that information.
Yep.
And I remember he told me probably 10 years ago, he's like, did you know that Target has no idea how many bananas they sell, like, as a company? Like, can you imagine not knowing how many you sell to be able to stock? They're just like, I don't know, what's a lot of bananas? 1 million? 1 billion? Like, what's the scale that you need to operate on to know? So it just cuts out inefficiencies in your life, and it's what you need to develop a strategy in your life.
Right. I can't believe Target doesn't know how many bananas they sell.
They might now.
They might now, because your friend
Don't sue me, Target.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your friend put in the software in place. So like, hey,
So now
you
they
guys
know.
sold 1 million bananas last week.
They're like,
We could ask
shit,
them.
we ordered 5 million.
Exactly.
Right. That's a lot of banana waste.
Awesome. So after reading this book, and maybe you read it over your vacay.
I did.
Awesome. So what are some actionable items that you're going to be putting in place just for yourself? Can you just, a real world life example that some of our listeners can just maybe mimic or potentially do right away?
Yeah. So I'm going to hit it out for people in sales positions, because that's the most easily relatable way to me to put this information across.
Yeah.
But instead of, number one, they did all their analytics. They checked out how their referral sources came in once they were sending out information. Email, dead. Email, not going to get you new clients.
Oh,
In
that's
person.
weird.
Yeah. They talked about substantive contacts.
Yep.
So what that essentially is meeting someone in person,
Yep.
sending them a handwritten letter.
Substance people.
Yep.
Right. Phone call, actually talking to them on the phone. Stuff that's actually going to build a relationship with someone, so they understand that you're not just trying to
One
quickly
million.
get past them and try and, scrape.
Right. And I'm big on, doing things easier, faster, via technology and everything. But after that podcast, and I think a lot of, sales is still very rudimentary, where people kind of think that they can just send 2,000 emails and that would be an equivalent of making 2,000 phone calls, which is not. Think of all the
Not at
emails that
all.
you get and how insignificant, and, the reason why they don't hold a lot of water or value is because you have so many of them. So when you get another one that's pitching you something, what is the value? There is none. A good example is I got an email 3 days ago about someone wanting me to sell something. I didn't even respond. I just deleted it. They did another follow-up email the next day saying, hey, sorry if we didn't connect. Here's another sales pitch. I'm like, no, get out of here. Delete it again. And then they send me another one, to which I was like, you know what?
Unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe. Exactly. And that happened today because they didn't take the time to reach out to me, call me, or make an email that doesn't look like a template that they've copied and pasted. So I just basically disregarded. I didn't even look into what they were really selling or pitching too closely, just because I was so turned off by how impersonal it is.
Right, and that was their data of, common sense, but again, just having the numbers in front of you, really important. So what I think is really the role of email is just brass tacks. Like, that's business you already have. It's communicating information that just needs to be relayed.
Let's coin that phrase.
Email is for business you have.
Yes, the use of email for sales is for the business you already have, and that should.
We're selling T-shirts.
Yeah, that should echo throughout the halls here at VSM and KPS and all the new agents, where don't come in here, sit at a desk, get on a computer, copy paste, and just you got to get out there. And really, the rudimentary way of getting out and meeting people, phone call or in person, still works. And all the people that are not using that right now because they're lazy, or they want to do email or social media or whatnot, you're just gonna have that much of a leg up on them. It should really just do it the old school way, quote unquote.
So following up on the metrics then, so I've established, okay, I need to contact this many people per year to meet my goals, and I can't send emails anymore. So now I need to figure out, I'm like, oh, maybe I need to connect to, so I got to go backwards, take my number of people that I need to have these substantive contacts with.
Right.
And I need to then divide by the number of weeks that I'm working a year. They recommended for most people 48 weeks. Be honest with yourself. You're going to take some time off. You're going to go on vacation. And then divide that by the number of days per week. They recommended 4. Because, again, let's be honest with ourselves.
Right.
For me, I'd say, 60 weeks a year, I'm probably working, and then,
12
I don't
days
know.
a week.
Yeah, something like that. So, but no, anyway, so you make these numbers, and then okay, I need to contact people 10 times a day, substantive contact, phone call, letter, in person, connecting with them on Facebook Messenger, something like that.
Connect, touch base. It doesn't have to be like you picking up the,
And it doesn't need to be a sales pitch.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be someone you don't know and you're like, hey, I'm so-and-so calling from, so-and-so brokerage. Can I sell you something? Of course you can't sell me anything. Go through people or who the friends of friends, to use the Facebook term. Still utilize all the tools that are available, like social media and email, but then connect right away. And again, real life example, we have a lot of customers reach out through us online, and they engage us through social media or texting or chatting with us, and we try to answer as much information as possible, but we try to get their information and set up a phone call as soon as possible. And that happened, yesterday, and we set up a phone call, and Daniel took the phone call today at 5 o'clock. We made a commitment to call to actually talk about what their needs are, and it was pre-planned. I didn't say, or Daniel didn't say, hey, what's your email? I'll send you our prices and let me know when you're ready.
We just had a 40-minute conversation where we talked about not the property that he wants to rent out. We talked about his entire goal for what he wants to do in the real estate world, which is, I think, if someone wanted to hear that from me, I'd be pretty happy about it.
Right. Plus, how else can you get someone's attention that easily, other than on a phone? If you went on a huge email rant, or you wrote
a 40-minute to read email,
oh my God!
No one's gonna do that. So that's why it's still a huge benefit to pick up the phone. And when we get all these leads, it doesn't matter if we ask you, like, hey, can we get your email? Can we get a phone number? It's not because we want to, call you nonstop and, solicit something or other. We're just going to engage you one time. And if there is, a potential of us doing business, we're going to proceed accordingly. But that first step is so important, where we're not just some, faceless company sending out a brochure via email. We're actually picking up the phone and, Daniel's saying, hey, my name is Daniel. This is what I do. How can I help you?
Yeah.
Exactly. So
for sure.
Get to know.
I think it's a very good point that a lot of people miss, and sometimes I miss myself because you're so spoiled by technology. Rudimentary way still works, especially within real estate and in the sales game. Going door to door or door knocking still does work. People get sales that way, and very few agents still do that just because they're lazy and the market's still good. So
think about too, so going back to the metrics component for a sec, there's the second part of that is tracking your own results and how important that can be. Because I think a lot of times people waste a lot of time and a lot of money. If you've ever read the 4-Hour Work Week, that's all about efficiency and streamlining what you do. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, because, the Grant Cardone.
I know you've read it, right?
The Grant Cardone and me's coming out. I was like, man, the 4-Hour Work Week. I was like, stop being lazy. Okay.
But it's not about that.
Don't work for a break. Just work for, satisfaction, getting things done and keep it going.
Well, you can make
but then
a 4-hour work week. I did the 4-hour work week.
I didn't read the book, so I don't know.
Work for 80 hours, and you're 20 times as efficient.
I'm just saying what the title said, but I'm sure there's a huge backstory again.
There is. So basically, the point is, it all comes down to work smarter, not harder, and
always
there's no way. I can't Google, hey, how effective is it going to be for me to advertise this way? Like, I just need to do it, and I need to track it and figure out that information, because your market's going to be so niche and so unique, and it doesn't matter. You're selling medical supplies. You want to know, hey, should I advertise on this website, or should I advertise on this website, or should I just call people in the phone book? Yeah. If you're paying money to beat and you're getting a result that you can't beat calling people out of the phone book, why are you spending money on it?
Exactly.
And how are you going to know unless you track it?
Yep.
I'm coming out with a 3-day work week.
3-day.
Oh, God.
The 1-hour work week.
I will put it right next to that. People are like, man, should I do 4 or 3? But, like you said, very good points. And, I think that book is worth getting. Mindset, Methods, and Metrics.
M3, Marshall Saunders.
Right. It's available on Amazon.
Shout out Marshall Saunders.
Are you going to get it, Allison?
Probably.
Well, he already has.
Borrowed his.
He has a copy.
False. Mine's in a glass case at home.
Like
a good glass case.
Right.
But yeah, Daniel, I'm, it's super impressed that you're, putting together what you just read to actual use ASAP. And of course, Allison's been crushing it. She's going to be crushing it now on another level when it comes to real estate.
Absolutely.
I'll give everybody maybe a little bit of a teaser of what we're going to talk about next Monday too.
All right.
So Goran was just talking and mentioned, taking what I just read and being able to apply it. One big inefficiency that I see in so many people, and I see it in myself from people who know more than me, and I see it when I'm speaking to people who are newer in the industry who I know more than and I'm trying to help. But if someone gives you a system, some sort of, do A, B, and then C to get the results that you're looking for, and you don't have any system in place, don't try and improvise on their system. You need to try it, make it work, and then improvise. You can't just start throwing things out because you don't even know what's important yet. That's what we're going to talk about next week. Thank you, everybody. That's been an awesome Monday Motivation. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you, guys.
Gorgatron.
Thank you, sir.